We're gonna be talking about Nightreign.
Elden Ring Nightreign.
Yay!
So the game hasn't even been out for, what has it been, a week now? And one thing that's weird, in my opinion, is that it's got mixed reviews. I don't get it. Like,
I
why?
actually am not surprised by that.
Same.
I'm just gonna pull up the reviews because this is dumb. This game is. This game is so mid. It's a lazy slop asset flip, but everyone already knew that going into it. But some people still held out hope that it might be fun. It's not. It's saying he wants voice chat, or at least text chat, because repeatedly pressing L1. Holy shit, it keeps going. This is bad. No, we're skipping this. Fuck that.
It's a rant.
The homie got hurt, and he felt he needed to tell the world.
The thing that he brought up that I find interesting, though, is about the asset flip thing.
I don't see it as an asset flip, to be honest.
I don't either. There's a lot of things because they didn't just make a new Souls game. This is called Elden Ring Nightreign, and obviously the engine is the same. So yes, there's going to be a lot of the things that we all know and love that drew us to Elden Ring that they're going to put in this game. I mean, Locke will tell you, we were playing a run. Obviously, you try to like coordinate your teams as far as like, hey, I found this piece of gear. Who would best optimize it? Or who would be best character to use this? One of my favorite swords in the entire game of Elden Ring dropped, and I was like, "Oh my god, give me that!" I had no reason to have that, and it took me a second. I was like, "I'm sorry, here, you can have this now," because Locke's character was definitely the one that should have had it, but I just immediately squealed like a little girl because I saw something that I loved from the base game that I had to have. Am I complaining like, "Oh, it's just the same sword, it's the same asset"? Yes, and that's why I'm excited about it.
Well, not only that, but like they were up front that like in all the trailers that you've seen and all of the footage that you were looking at, that there's going to be a lot of things that, you know, people of and fans of Souls games were going to recognize. But it wasn't just, they aren't taking and carbon copying shit over. Absolutely not.
Well,
They're
look
like,
at-
go ahead.
I was gonna say, look at our fight with the one day two boss with Margit. Like, yeah, he's still holy crap Lanedale boss fight Margit, but some of the attacks he was doing, like the knife throw, he doesn't do it like it's different.
Knife throw's bullshit, let's be
Knife
honest.
throw is bullshit, no, 100%. But I'm just saying, when he threw the knives in the base game, it wasn't that. Like, so
Yeah.
there are differences, there are updates to them for this new game.
100%. And they also, you know, they have the, you know, the blood flame flurry that he can throw down. Like, it's not just a carbon copy of events that you've tried before. But it's all of the recognition and all of the nostalgia wrapped into it, which to me kind of feels right.
Like, if you're an outsider to the Elden Ring games, I could see them saying it as a asset flip. Even maybe the people on the inside too, but they took the same assets, yes, and they used similar ones. They did change things. The round table's not the same. That you can explore more of it. You can go further. There's new characters. There's new abilities you've never seen before. Bosses from different games. That's cool as shit. It's a good idea, and so far I've been having a good time with it. I don't think it's cheap.
And even at its bare bones, if you're really gonna be like, oh, like we're paying for something that we've already had, like an asset flip, there's a reason, and I don't think it's a bad reason, but the game is a main studio release game like this is not normally $40. It's a lower price point for a reason. So if people are really gonna say that, like they are giving you a discount if that's really your complaint.
And other games that are coming out around this time are in fact $80. So I mean,
Correct.
like,
We are literally
yeah.
talking half price for a new release game.
Let's see the other thing that the guy's talking about, which actually is a good point. There is no text or audio.
what other Souls games has provided that though?
Well, so here's the thing. It is a different game, right? Because they're
Yeah,
taking a
yeah.
chance, they're taking a risk, they're making a multiplayer game, which they are not very like that's not their known thing, right? It's mostly single player games. Sometimes you'll have a buddy, but usually you have some source of communication. But they're trying to do multiplayer with randos. You do need some source of communication, or else it all kinds of goes to hell. So I do agree with that point, but it's not like destroys the game.
I don't think I would agree with that. I don't think text is a good thing.
Yeah, when do you have time to do that?
I was going to say that with just
Yeah.
the pace of the game, I don't see how text to communicate is going to be effective.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, I think having like being able to have a microphone or a headset, and especially if you're playing with random people, a way to communicate, because there's a lot of like, hey, where's our destination? What thing are we hitting? If everybody's just running around, squandering about, like I see that being a problem for the game. So I agree. I think there should definitely be some sort of in-game communication thing. But
Well,
I
that
agree
being
with you. I
said-
don't think it breaks the game.
That being said, there's the map system. You have the beacons that are available that you can set on the map, and if more than one person sets a beacon in the same area, it becomes a global waypoint that's highlighted white. So
Yeah.
you can still generally communicate to the rest of your squad that, hey, I think this is a good place to go, and then they look over, they see it, it's like, I agree, bing, it lights the fuck up, everybody can see it, and you all head in that direction.
The problem I foresee that would happen is if 3 separate beacons light up, it's the which one do we go to first?
Yeah.
Imagine spending the first like 2 minutes of it just beacon fighting, just ding 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 ding.
So like I always feel like I'm kind of like the general person, like I am the standard dude that plays video games. I have not used the pings once because I just don't want to. I'm gonna be real. And also I'm still learning the game, so I don't know where to go. I wonder if that could be a contribution or that could be contributing to it of like I don't know where to go, so I don't want to ping, so I feel, bad if we go to the wrong spot.
Yeah.
Fair. I mean, that's generally why I ping. Even if it's like if I'm going off on my own for a second, like, oh, they're going to the church because they're this. I'm like, hey, I need to make a pit stop for a grace. I don't know the maps like I do the Elden Ring maps yet because obviously it's still new. So I put the ping so I can like efficiently go to where I know I want to get here, and then get back to them without taking too long to do so because obviously time's a factor. So I use the ping to make sure I go, even if I don't, maybe if I'm not going to the right spot or I'm not going to the necessarily the most optimal spot, I know I'm going here and I need to be shown how to get there because otherwise I'm going to be squandering around for too long.
So I know a lot of people have their particular misgivings in some of the reviews. One that I actually see, makes a lot of sense is the parkour elements of things.
Yeah, I definitely, yeah.
It's rough.
The ability to scale walls feels like a coin toss. Like sometimes you're able to get up there and sometimes you're not. In an environment where, any mistake could be, grievous or difficult to recover from.
It's like when you're doing, if you're doing one of the ones where like you have to like use a spirit spring and then at the top you have to keep leaping, or you have to make a wall jump like where you're climbing up the tombstones and it takes you several jumps to get to the top and it just kind of doesn't work right. And then you fall all the way back down and then the knight catches you, you're dead.
Yes.
Like there's just no getting out of it. And that's not because you made a mistake. It's because the game didn't let you go where you were supposed to go.
I think that the game itself, like they never had jump in Dark Souls, right? Like 1, 2, 3.
So a lot of people that Elden Ring was their first Souls like going back because like, oh man, this is what a Souls game is. This is super, super fun. I want to play the other ones. And even experienced Souls players that have played other ones and have come to Elden Ring going backward, that's the big thing, is it's the oh god, I can't jump. I don't know about all of them, but I do know that jumping was a newer thing.
Yes.
I bring up the jumping thing because I feel like they made the game and they're like, we got to do more because you can't run all over the map if you can't navigate terrain.
Right.
And so they're like, this has to be in here. I feel like it was we can't go around this. We have to add this feature. And since they weren't really strong with that from the beginning, that's probably why it's suffering.
Because it's new.
Yeah, it's new and they haven't done that before. Like, again, like the game is an experiment. But like, can we do
agree
this?
with that.
I'm
I
thinking
think part of it is because of, as far as like the experimental part, is so many, like there has been multiplayer functionality in other Souls games, sure. But Elden Ring, again, being, I think, what was it? I think the statistics were that Elden Ring sold more copies on its own than Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3 combined.
Damn.
It's absurd.
It's a lot.
It is a lot. And I think because of that, there are so many non-Souls games fans that are now playing Elden Ring because it's just a good game. What does everyone want to do with their favorite games? Play with their friends. So multiplayer is in Elden Ring, and I know there's talks about like some of the connection issues or even the walls and stuff like that. But look at how many of the mods there are for multiplayer things for Elden Ring that aren't for other Souls games. I have no facts, I have no proof of this, but I think that FromSoft saw that, and if that many people want to play their thing in multiplayer, this is them going, okay, fine, we'll try it your way. We'll try to make you a multiplayer thing.
Well, not only that, but I think that this game is probably going to be the precursor to flesh out everything in Dustbloods for Switch 2 when it comes out. This is kind of their sandbox to say, okay, this is where we collect data to be able to figure out what's the best implementation to be able to make all this work. At the same time, we get another game in the franchise that we can sit here and beat our heads against the wall with because we love it so much.
Someone was saying that this is a much shorter one, thank God. The game needs a duos option, crossplay, and voice chat. In a multiplayer focused game, these things shouldn't have been left out.
Truthfully, I think all of those criticisms are valid.
I would agree.
I don't know if they'll choose to implement crossplay, but I do believe that is critical to be able to maximize the success of this game.
If they do that, I'm going to be really happy and sad at the same time because I definitely bought it for both.
Me too.
I was like, that would be so nice because then you're hitting all the markets of console and PC. Like that is,
yes.
I feel like a no-brainer, but I feel like there was too many conflicting things. Because how long did it take for them to have crossplay for Elden Ring? right?
I
They
don't think
never
they
did.
do.
I thought they
don't.
did. They don't?
No.
No.
Oh.
That's why my dear friend Locke here, slash Motrax, gifted me said Elden Ring for PC, and I started a new file so I could play PC with you guys.
Well, I guess crossplay is not coming. It's just-
Yeah.
It's
Well,
not looking great.
That's
Yeah,
the
it's
thing. Like,
unfortunate.
I think the mass outcry that it needs to be in the game. Maybe they'll finally hear it and listen, or it might
Maybe.
be an architectural thing that it's too difficult to implement in the engine that they used.
Anytime you deal with multiplayer stuff in game development, it like triples your timeline. It is insane. Versus a single player game is so much easier to make than a multiplayer game, genuinely because of networking.
But the thing with this is that like 90% of their multiplayer gameplay loop is fleshed out. The only thing that they need to, link up is your primary communication method, which that's the grievance of voice chat. The ability to be able to play outside of, to play as two people, which would make it so that way everybody can play with, their one friend instead of having to cycle in a rando every run if you only got two people to be able to play.
Yeah.
And then the crossplay thing, I don't know, because I mean, I also play Lords of the Fallen, and Lords of the Fallen has crossplay and is very much a Souls-like game. So like,
You know, I actually kind of get why they picked 3. I think that is actually the perfect number.
I agree.
I am very much enjoying playing with 3.
As a game balancing mechanic, and like when I'm thinking like when I get downed, I know 2 other people are able to do something. So one person can tank aggro and then the other person can try and revive me. But if it's just
Yup.
2 people, one person goes down, you're aggroing and you're having to pick them up at the same time, which is damn near impossible sometimes if the bar's too high.
Especially if, on how far in the run you are. Like if you're on day 2 boss, or especially if you're fighting a Night Lord, you're not just
Yeah.
doing that.
Yeah, not without some, serious planning or distraction or what have you, or
Yep.
kiting. But
Yeah.
like to have the option for that would be
Yep.
would be nice. Because like I've been playing a bunch of solo. When you're looking at how things scale between jumping into a 3-person game and jumping into a solo run, like it feels like the only balancing that has been done has just been to like stats, where the monsters have a lot more stats in a full party and you're
Yeah.
doing more damage when you're by yourself. But I think that's the only scaling that exists. And I think that's the reason why people are saying that, the solo play is too difficult, because that's the only advantage that they have, is that it's basically a difficulty slider based on personnel. It's just a flat number on top of what normally is there.
You know what's funny is like you said before, all these criticisms are valid, but I don't feel like they have as much weight as people think it does.
I think there are concerns that are valid and need to be addressed. I don't think it makes it a bad game.
Yeah.
I would agree. I think it can be fixed. A handful of the things that I hear, such as crossplay, duos, and voice chat, are valid specifically because, like, voice chat specifically because of the nature of this game. A game that requires some means of more detailed communication
Yep.
outside of just being able to prod a map marker. You don't really have the time to sit there and drop a weapon and scream and flail using emotes and shit like that to be able to convey, oh yeah, I don't need this, but you might.
The one thing that always kind of bugs me about the voice chat thing is that I don't know if I actually think it needs it. Like with like League of Legends or like, competitive games or like high stress situations, that's going to get weird because then you're going to need like a reporting system and then you're going to need to add this and you're going to need to add this. I don't know if that's worth it when everyone literally has Discord. Everyone has TeamSpeak. Everyone has some source of talking with your friends.
I was going to bring that up. That, like, obviously, yeah, it seems like, oh, well, that's not our job. Someone else should do that. But at the same time, like, if it's really a concern for a particular play group, if they're like, I really can't do this without talking to who I'm talking to, then there are so many. It's not like, well, I guess we just can't because there's no voice chat in the game. Like, there are options.
And, I don't know if Xbox ships with Discord, but PS5 certainly has Discord, and PC obviously has Discord. So, getting into general groups where you can, pair up with a team and go take on Limveld, you can do that.
It's nice to have that option, but I think people don't realize how much extra work that's going to have. And hell, I think 90% of people won't even use it, genuinely.
I would agree with that.
And so it's like, we're going to add something that's going to add more work. We're going to have to deal with reporting people and banning people for 10% of people. It's not worth it.
Because that's gonna involve a whole new realm of policing when it comes to, keeping up with that.
Correct.
Yeah.
which FromSoft has historically not needed to do.
This one person saying the enemies are overtuned and every boss is a sponge. I don't know if I agree with that.
I do not agree with that.
If you've made boo-boos during your run and you are under level going into them, they absolutely can feel like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to
Yeah.
call a random person or a random comment out as like skill issue, but like it, not as a insult. Like legitimately, like you're still learning the game, and you just have to figure out that like yeah, if you jump in and like oh like we spawned in right next to like an early boss, that's early runes, that's great. Yeah, you go ahead and try and fight that thing at level 1. Tell me how that works out for you.
It
Yeah.
doesn't.
Right, exactly, and we've done that both out
Yeah.
of curiosity and out of sheer stupid. So it's just a matter of learning the game and like getting to oh I need to be this level when I get to this point, not just oh there's the boss, let's go. And I think that's actually on brand for FromSoft because even if Elden Ring was your first intro, even Elden Ring, your first step into the game, as soon as you step out of the initial point and you walk into Limgrave, right there on your right is a big old horse. You're like, oh, first thing I'm supposed to kill. Nah, man, you're gonna get fucking wrecked. So I don't think that every boss is a sponge. I think it just gives you your okay, next time I get to here, I need to be at this point to be able to fight this effectively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Levels in the game are crucial to your success. In Elden Ring, especially through early game, it was a lot of maintaining your weapons and getting them to as high of a value as you could that gave you your initial spike in damage. But in
Mhm.
this game, it's heavily centered on your character and getting those early levels so that way you're dishing out enough base damage that you're capable of surviving for a long period of time.
But one thing that I think I might agree with on here for the longevity of the game, though, is the limited sense of progression. Someone was mentioning this. There is a sense of progression to some degree, which is obviously like getting better at the game as you play more and understanding the paths and whatnot to go to, as well as
Yeah.
understanding the characters. I think what they mean is like the relics. I feel like the relics are like one of the only things of progression, as well as the journal, whatever those things are called.
The doing the storyline and the remembrances for your
Yeah.
characters.
Yeah, the
Well, the other
remembrances.
thing is that this is day 4 or 5 in a game that is released that is designated to be endless, focused entirely on multiplayer, and fitting within a genre that historically has additional expansions and content that gets pumped into it at later times. I don't think that we're stuck dealing with these 8 characters. I think it tops out at like maybe 8 shadow bosses. I think later on down the line there will likely be more characters added in, more night lords that you have to fight, different generations of the map that you have to transverse, possibly different variants of like structurally the map is kind of like an island and it's kind of set up the same, but they may evolve that to a point where you got maps that spawn that look like Worms Armageddon, like the letter H or some other dumb bullshit like that.
I'm hoping that they keep pumping more content into this game because I feel like it's 70 to 80% there. Like it is
Mhm.
a solid game, it's still playable, it's still fun, but I think it is true that people are going to burn through the content fast, and I think maybe in a couple months they're going to want to drop some sort of either new map, new character, something to keep people interested, or else this is going to be a hey guys, we got a new game. 2 weeks later, cool. What's the next one?
To put it that way though, like it's a 70 to 80% of a triple A game
Yeah.
at 50% of the standard triple A game price. So either way, like you're getting value out of this game no matter what way you look at it.
My thing too is also, and this isn't even a Night Rain thing. And here, this is kind of like my take on the gaming industry. But people also in today's just need to learn to be patient. I just that's something that like as a whole people tend to do more and more now. Is everyone like something only keeps people interested, like you said, a week or two, and they're like, oh well, what's next? Take time to hone it. Like play it more, get better at it, master the things that we've had, not just get passable and then be like, what's the next thing?
I think it's become more prevalent. This goes into a more society thing because
Yeah.
of the games industry has been making games like this where they have constant content updates instead of large content dumps like they used to back in the day.
Yeah.
Where you bought Skyrim, you played that bitch forever. You played Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, you played that bitch forever. And now it's like, hey, here's a quarter of a game, half a game. We're gonna drop DLCs later. We're gonna drop map updates later. We're gonna do this. I feel like they didn't even like take the lump and then add upon it. they took the lump of content and then chopped it up. So you're getting less game for more money. But yeah, I'm still excited. They're going to release more maps. I think they'll probably have an ice one, probably a Scarlet Rot one. I think they're going to do more.
Yeah.
I trust them on that.
Oh, see, FromSoft is like clockwork with their here's the game, X amount of time, here's our DLC. I would be very surprised if they're taking a chance on this, and this is the first game of theirs that they don't follow their normal pattern on.
Not only that, but they've committed in the past, whenever they make a DLC, it's not just a cash grab. Shadow of the Erdtree. If you look at that, technically it's pretty much another full game's worth of content that's there.
It really is. I
Get your
must talk
popcorn,
about
folks.
I have to talk about the one negative that irks me the most out of everything in this game right now.
Grab a helmet.
What is it? Pop off, King.
Fucking lock on.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you're literally 2 hits from dying. You would like to stop the thing from hitting you? We want to parry? How about you parry that box that's to your left? No. And the part where that most relevantly comes up is trying to pick up fallen allies. All you're doing is swinging around like, and then it's like, yeah, you hit him once. You hit him once. And I'm like, bitch, no, I hit them like 100 times.
Every time I'm trying to revive someone, I'm like, I'm going to miss one of these swings. Even if I take my time, I'm gonna miss one. And it just swing, that missed. Fuck. Swing, boss hit me. Now I'm down 2. Fuck.
I think the lock-on system is something that needs a serious look at.
That and, the parkour elements definitely need...
Yeah, 100%.
They need attention, because scaling a cliff is a coin toss.
Let's say the major things that genuinely need to be fixed: the jumping mechanics and lock on. Fix this, please, I beg. I don't think I need to look at reviews to see what the good parts are. What have you all been enjoying about the game so far?
I love this game.
It is said that we like this game.
Yeah, this game.
And like for me, I love Iron Eye, and I tend to pick ranged options, not necessarily like spellcasters, but I tend to gravitate more towards ranged options because it's how I tend to enjoy playing the game.
Well, and the other thing on top of that I think I really like about this game, in this game, you're like, I'm a spellcaster, I really want to do that. You can literally just click on the spellcaster and start doing spells. Like you don't have to invest X hours into the game to play the game how you want to play. They have done a really good job with the variety of the 8 classes of what the different play styles look like. You can literally just click, oh, I'm gonna click Iron Eye. Done.
A very good point. What about you, Modrax? What's your favorite sheet?
They gave me a railgun. Like, it's bringing the challenge back that I felt the first time that I dove into Elden Ring. Before I found Elden Ring, I used to talk all sorts of shit about Souls-like games. I just wanted nothing to do with them. I thought they were bullshit. I thought they made life hard. It was just rough. It was a bad time. And I see, glowing reviews of Elden Ring and, critical acclaim. And I'm like, but it's a Souls game, so I don't know. But I ended up, breaking down and getting it. And going through that the first time, my first 2 days of playing the base game of Elden Ring were hell. I cannot quantify the amount of hours that I sunk into learning how to engage a Souls game. That being said, jumping into Nightreign gives me that same sense of, I'm trying to learn something brand new.
Even on our stream, going into Nightreign, every single time we go into day 1, day 2, it's like, I don't know, man.
Literally every playthrough, you're just like, I'm gonna eat shit here, aren't I?
Like, I don't know for sure that we're gonna get to this point. Like, if we're going through Limgrave, I'm like, we're gonna get through Stormvale Castle, we'll kill Godric, and then we'll move past it. Where here, it's like, I don't know if we're gonna get there. And even if we get to the Night Lord, here's hoping.
The one thing that I have genuinely been liking about the game, besides the pacing is actually really good. It doesn't feel like I'm being rushed super hard, and I find that very important. It's like there is an urgency, but it's not too quick. But it's still fast enough to be like, okay, we need to go. And it makes decisions meaningful. Like, I like having meaningful decisions, not just, we're going to A, we're going to B, we're going to C. It's, we go to A, we got our shit stunk. Shit, should we even go to B? Here comes the fire. Okay, fuck B, we'll do that later. C.
We gotta go.
And I like when my decisions matter.
If you invest what serious time and effort it takes into actually upgrading a weapon in Nightreign, and you're like, yeah, I don't like this, that's a lot that you're throwing
Yeah.
away to pick up another weapon, and if that other weapon you end up not liking it, well, too bad.
Yep. So
Sucks to
you
suck.
fucked up.
You fucked up. So I do agree with you very much that the decision making, I am very much enjoying that every decision matters, and it's not just whatever, if it doesn't work out, it's fine. No, you really like, do I really want this?
Yeah, there's a lot of decisions that you make that will make or break your run.
And to conclude this, the original question, does Nightreign deserve the mixed reviews?
No.
I think it should have very positive reviews. I don't think it should be mixed.
Correct. I think it should be positive reviews with just some minute points that need to be addressed.
Like the targeting. Yeah. Play a game. Fun game.
Yeah, it's a good game. I don't think I agree. Yeah, no, not mixed reviews. It's a good game.
It's a fantastic game, and it's only going to get better as time goes on. Play Nightreign!